Rattler Vlog, episode 53. Jasmine Gardiner from Australia, part of the Australian Connection with the Rattlers. Morgan Muir, Jordan Bigger, and Jasmine Gardiner. All right, guys, hope you're having an incredible day. Not quite as nice as yesterday. Last night was just perfect, hanging out here on the deck and just relaxing tonight. Little cloudy, little cooler. And it's kind of spitting a little bit here, so hopefully it doesn't like all out rain. And if it does, then I'm rushing right in here. But in the meantime, let's go live. Jasmine Gardiner, women's basketball. Hey.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Good. Hang on. Let me turn the volume up here because you're coming through really quiet.
Ooh. Is that better?
Not at all. Can you hear me okay, though?
Yeah. I can try find some headphones with the microphone on them.
You know what? It almost sounds like something is covering up your microphone, maybe.
Oh. I'll try find something to speak in.
Okay. All good.
Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. Plug that in there. Let's see what we got going on here. I'm hearing something.
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
It's really quiet.
Oh.
It's really quiet.
That's really weird.
Yeah. Hey, guys, can you hear Jasmine at all? Like, are we the same volume or what's going on? I'm just going to wait for some comments here. Because I'm kind of having a tough time hearing, and I mean, maybe it's my headset. I don't know, but
Yeah, last time I checked, this works. We got a thumbs up in the chat.
okay, thumbs up. What? Thumbs up. You can hear me, or you can hear both of us. Because maybe I'll just unplug here and see if that makes any difference at all. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Let me just turn the volume up on my device here. Okay, it is cranked. I think I can hear you okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, everyone, this is Jasmine Gardner. Sorry about the little technical issues there. Maybe, you know what? It could be my headset. Could be wrecked.
Maybe. It also could be mine. I'm not sure.
That's all right. All right. Jasmine is joining us here right now. I'm going to get a little bit closer because it's still a little bit quiet here, just so I can hear the sound from your end.
I'll try to speak up as well.
Yeah, so Jasmine, give us a little update as to where you've been over the past few months, and you know that weekend in March where everything got canceled. Let's start there and let's kind of progress up to where we're at right now. What have you been up to, and what happened during the whole quarantine?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Like in March, obviously the coronavirus got pretty bad, and I was talking to the coach and stuff, and he was kind of saying, you should probably start looking at getting a flight home. And then, yeah, I managed to find one, which is very lucky. Cause yeah, I only had like 2 days to pack up and leave. It was really insane. Like, I think we found out on the 15th or something that this virus is going a bit crazy. And then I managed to find a flight out on the 18th, which is again, very lucky. And then I got to spend from the 18th of March up until August 10th at home. So a lot longer than normal, because normally I'd be going home in around May. But yeah, it was so awesome seeing the family and spending time back in Australia. And yeah, it was awesome. That's
awesome. So, I mean, some of the international students, they decided to stay here. What was kind of the thought process there? I would imagine it's, you know, we don't know what this is, but if it turns out to be really bad, I want to be with the people I love. Was that kind of the thought?
Yeah, it was kind of, I wouldn't say a no-brainer, but I definitely knew that I wanted to go home. Just because like it was my first year, and I really love it in Canada, but yeah, that pandemic at that time in March, it was a bit unpredictable. It still is. But at the time I was like, I would really love to go home and be around the family during this time. So yeah.
Yeah. So now you're from, if I'm not mistaken, from Queensland.
Yeah. So I'm from Toowoomba, which is in the state of Queensland. Yeah.
Okay. So it's Queensland, New South Wales, and then Victoria. Is that correct?
I'm not gonna say that's right just because I'm still not very good on geography. My family's from New Zealand, so I mean I have lived in Australia for 6 years, but yeah, geography's not my strong point, so I'm not gonna say that's correct. I do know that New South Wales is below Queensland though.
So why did your family go from New Zealand to Australia then? Was it kind of your dad's business, or what led to that?
So yeah, my mum got a job in Australia, and it was paying a lot more, and it just would give her a lot more opportunities. So yeah, we packed up and left. I spent 13 years in New Zealand, sorry, and then moved to Australia. I think when I was 12 or 13.
What are the big differences that you notice between New Zealand and Australia? Because I mean, we look at the map and we think, they're pretty close. It must be
Yeah.
pretty similar there. But what are the differences?
I wouldn't say there's a lot of differences. I would 100% say Australia is a lot hotter, for sure. New Zealand's quite similar to here, actually. Like, it's quite cold, lots of clouds, like a lot of cloudy days. But yeah, Australia is very hot. And other than that, I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of differences. Just those two mainly.
Okay, so you've got you had Morgan,
Yeah,
and you have Jordan coming up this season.
yeah.
Does it feel a lot better for you knowing that if you're feeling homesick, you have somebody that knows your hometown, that has the same accent as you have something in common? Does that help you with being homesick?
Yeah, it really does. And it's pretty cool. Yeah, just having him around, and Morgan too, like just having two people that I know are going through the same thing as me, especially with this COVID stuff going on. Like, it is very weird. Like, this year, it's really awesome being back and everything, but it is very different, like with school being online and everything. And it's just nice knowing that they're also going through the same thing. They're both away from home. And yeah, it's definitely really cool.
All right, so tell us a little bit. See, because the three of you are from a town, and help me out with the pronunciation here.
Yeah.
Toowoomba?
Yep, Toowoomba. So,
Toowoomba.
so Jordan's from Toowoomba, but Morgan is from Ballarat. So that's a
Ah,
completely different state, but still Australia as well. Yeah.
got you. Okay, so tell me about your hometown. What is similar about Medicine Hat, and what is quite a bit different in your
Um,
mind?
Honestly, similarities, I wouldn't say there's a whole lot. I think Australia is quite different to Canada. Similarities would probably be the people. I would say that Canadians and Australians are pretty similar in the way that they're very welcoming and nice people generally. Obviously, not everyone's nice, but in majority, they're nice people. Weather's definitely probably the biggest difference for sure. I remember when I first got here, it was like -2, and I was freaking out. I thought that was freezing. And then it got to -40, and I was like, oh my gosh, I hadn't seen anything at that point. So yeah, definitely the weather.
-2. We're taking our jackets off in that weather. Come on.
Yeah, just before I left in March, it was -2 that one day. And I think I was wearing shorts, honestly. I thought that was hot. So yeah, I definitely climatized very well. So yeah.
All right, so who is the most famous person then from your hometown?
From hometown.
Yeah, from Toowoomba. Where is there anybody famous there? Probably some footballers and politicians that I might have never even heard of before, right?
Um, Jordan just put in the chat, Farji, no way. Because I don't think there's anyone that's really famous from Toowoomba.
No.
I would like to say, yeah, I can't think of any. Like, obviously there's some, like, I don't know if you keep up to date with like NBA and stuff.
Sure.
But like Patty Mills and stuff like that, like they're Australian, famous
Okay.
Australian basketballers, but I can't think of any from Toowoomba specifically.
Well, I hear that Crow's Nest Falls is beautiful this time of year.
Yep, Crow's Nest in Australia, did you say?
Yes, I did some research. I heard that Crow's Nest Falls is close by your town there.
Yeah, it actually is. It's like 40 minutes. I think it's 40 minutes down the road. I went over there in your summer break, so it was winter back home when I went over the 5 months. But yeah, I went down there. It's quite pretty. It's all the nature over there is very different to here. Like, you guys have the pine trees, but we're just filled with like eucalyptus trees and stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay. And I also did a little more research on Toowoomba, and it has the highest per capita rate of car accidents in Australia. Apparently, the drivers there are terrible.
I would agree with that, honestly.
Why are they
My
so
time
bad?
I wouldn't say I'm one of the contributing factors, but sometimes I maybe. But yeah, there's a lot of bad drivers down there. And we're also I found this out. My mum works at the hospital, so she finds out all these stats. But we're also the most obese town, apparently. So
Really?
Toowoomba's known for a few bad things, but it's a nice town as well. But yeah.
Good. Okay. I want to dispel some stereotypes here.
Yep.
Um, Here in Canada and around Medicine Hat, when we see a deer on maybe eating some grass or whatever, it's no big deal. We hardly even notice it.
Mhm.
Is that the case for you and kangaroos? You see kangaroos and it really is like no big deal.
Yeah, it kind of is. I would say Medicine Hat probably has more deer around the city. Like I've definitely noticed that like there's a lot of deer around.
Okay.
But in Australia, there's like a few kangaroos around. Especially when you go to more like the country areas. But in the city, not so much. But yeah, if you see a kangaroo, you don't think twice, kind of. Yeah.
Okay, so when you go out in the country, are the kangaroo as dumb as the deer are, and they'll like run in front of traffic and like people hitting is people hitting kangaroos with their cars quite common?
Oh yeah, like you have a lot of the cars have like these metal bars on like the grill of the car. So if you hit a kangaroo, it's not gonna like damage your car because like they're pretty crazy. Like they will jump out in front of your cars and everything. Yep, yep, definitely
Why
like it is.
why do we not have those? That actually sounds like a brilliant idea.
Yeah, if you go down there, like a lot of the cars, yeah, have those things on them. It's
All
pretty
right,
smart.
another question.
Yeah.
For women your age, is Bindi Irwin like a major role model? Is she like a national hero? Or how would you describe Bindi Irwin?
Um, I'll be honest, I think Bindi Irwin probably comes across to Canadians as being this huge Australian icon. Um, and like Steve Irwin and that really are, and they were super influential and still are like a big part of pop culture over there. But I'm not sure. I'm like I don't really know much about Bindi Irwin if I'm being honest. Like I know more a bit like about Steve Irwin, but yeah,
Okay.
honestly, I don't know a whole lot. Sorry
Have
to
you
let you
ever been
down.
have you ever been to Australia Zoo then?
Yes, yeah, that's in
You
Queensland.
oh, okay. So is that Brisbane then?
I think it's on the border of Gold Coast, but
Okay.
again, I'm very bad at directions, so I have no idea. Sorry.
All right. So, okay, kind of getting back to kangaroos.
Yep.
If we were to go to Australia and we would see a kangaroo, we'd be freaking out. We'd be like, "Holy, look at that, a kangaroo!" What have you seen here when you arrived that you freaked out about that everybody else said, "What? It's no big deal." Was there anything that you totally just were amazed to see?
Um, in terms of animals, I'd definitely say the deer, especially because I'm in new res this year, but I was at old res last year,
Yeah.
and there was like I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a whole family of deer that live like in that old res area, and I was blown away. I was freaking out, and everyone was saying that's just normal, but it was so cool. Yep. And in terms of not so much animals, but I'm blown away by your cars. Like they're so huge. Like for example, you guys call them trucks, but we call them utes.
Okay.
And our ones are tiny compared to yours. Like I don't know, Haley from last year, she had this, I think it's like a GMC or something. And it's like so big. And it's like, that is just blows my mind every time. It's so awesome.
There you go. That's awesome. What about your family? Have they come to visit to watch you play at all? Have they been to Canada since you started here?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people like to go home over Christmas, but I was lucky enough that my family actually flew down and visited me over here. So for Christmas, I was lucky enough that we all met in Banff, and yeah, we spent Christmas. We had our first white Christmas ever, and yeah, it was
Okay.
really awesome.
Well, hey, it was summer vacation, right? So
Yeah.
what else are they gonna do, right?
It was very weird because like obviously coming from a hot country, we're used to having like Christmas on the beach and that kind of stuff. So
Yep.
it was very surreal. It was a very surreal experience, and yeah, super awesome.
So what do you have for siblings then?
I've got a brother and a sister. I'm
Okay.
the oldest, so my brother is 13 and my sister's 15.
All right. Now, I would encourage everyone to go and check out your Instagram account because a few months ago you posted a picture, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe it's a family picture. It's you and what looks to be your mom and dad and your sister, and if that's your brother is out front. Most of you are smiling, but he is like really welling up. Like
Oh,
he is getting so emotional. What is the story with that? I felt bad for the little guy.
oh, that man's got a bit of an attitude sometimes. I think he didn't want a photo, so he was packing a sad. But yeah, I think I posted that, I think, to be silly because yeah, he was crying and it was pretty obvious. But yeah, no, he he was not happy about that photo at all.
Why? Why? He's got his family there.
I
I'm
don't know.
surprised to hear that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've I don't know if I've posted a photo about it, but he's growing out a mullet. And he's got like flaming red hair, so he's looking pretty sweet at the moment.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So, would you say your family is pretty athletic? Is
Um,
sports a big part of your family?
I think sports are a big part of our family. I would say I'm probably the sportiest one of my siblings. My brother's really into mountain biking. My sister plays netball, which is like that Australian sport. I don't think you guys play it over here, but yeah, she's really into that. But more so like rugby, for example. Like we watch a lot of rugby, especially in New Zealand, because like we had the All Blacks and stuff like that. Like that's the national team. They're really good. But yeah, I think yeah, everyone in my family loves coming to my games and stuff like that, and it's kind of a nice like bonding thing too.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah.
So, coming from New Zealand, then, do you know a haka?
Yeah, so we had to perform that a lot at school. The boys do the haka, like the boy version that you guys see on the TVs and stuff, but we do it like the girls do a modified version.
Okay.
But yeah, that's like the best part of the rugby is watching the haka before the game.
What is the psychology behind that? Because I mean, with here in North America,
Yeah.
the the whole idea is to respect your opponent for the most part. But
Yeah.
there's something about it that kind of seems uh, like you're trying to intimidate your opponent. You're trying
Oh.
to really get under their skin right off the bat. Here, the whole concept of that is totally foreign to us. So
Hmm.
what is that? What is the psychology? What is the reason for that?
It's 100% an intimidation thing. Yeah. I think I'm from what I understand, it's like they used to do it in the war, and it's like a war kind of cry in a way, but it like the main reason is to intimidate them. Like it's so cool. Like I don't know if you've seen, not so much like against Australia and like England the games, because like they've played rugby against New Zealand all the time. But there was a few, I think it was a basketball match, and they were doing it against an American team. And they were just so shocked because they've never seen anything like it. And like you said, like in North America and stuff, like that's very unusual to be almost intimidating the other team, like almost
Right.
seen as disrespectful. Not disrespectful because it's part of our culture, but for someone who doesn't know what it's about, they could see it as that. But no, it 100% is just to intimidate the other team.
Okay, so it's always customary though for the opponent to stand arm in arm and just glare,
Yeah.
right? Just stare. Like, what would happen if the other team just ignored them? Would that be disrespectful back?
Um, I wouldn't say so, and I would also say it'd be pretty hard to ignore that because there's a lot of yelling and screaming. So I would say, or I would actually be very impressed if you could ignore a haka. So I would give them props.
All right, everybody, we've got Jasmine Gardiner here from women's basketball. What are you taking academically, and where do you see yourself in, say, 10 years?
Yep, I'm taking the university transfer in kinesiology. So my classes at the moment are like anatomy, physiology, and socio-cultural aspects of sport. And I'm doing that in hopes to be like an exercise physiologist or like physiotherapist or something like that, kind of sticking with like the sport thing.
Okay.
Sorry, I was just laughing. I saw one of my teammates commented something.
Yeah, I see
Shout out to
Emma,
Emma.
or, emojis there. So
She's a clown. But no, I'm thinking of doing something along the lines of sport. Back home in Toowoomba, there's a sport like gym that is run by a guy called Cam Weber, and he does a lot of work with athletes and like sport specific like gym workouts and stuff like that. And every time I go there, I love it. And that's like, he's probably, his line of work is almost exactly what I want to do as well. So, yeah.
awesome. But you know what? If something happened, if you got an amazing opportunity here, would you actually be open to spending more time in Canada?
Oh, 100%. I was talking to my family while I was at home, and I was basically saying, like, I absolutely love it over here. I don't know what it is about it. Just everything, honestly. I love Canada, and I can definitely see myself living here potentially in the future. So, yeah.
Awesome. We love to have you here. It's fantastic. All right. Okay. Well, I think I've gone through all of my questions here, so now I want to turn it over to you.
Yep.
I see the flag behind you there. Maybe that's your show and tell item. I have no idea. But everybody
stole it from me. Yeah, that was going to be my show and tell.
Jasmine Gardiner with our show and tell segment. Go ahead.
So this is probably a very lame show and tell, so I apologize. But it's just the New Zealand flag in the background. I've pretty much only talked about that this whole time. But basically, I was just going to say that, like, a lot of people, especially over here, don't really see the, like, just call me Australian and stuff. But it's like living in New Zealand was a big part of my life. Like, I've spent most of my life over there. So it's nice to have a bit of back home hanging up on the wall, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, all the best. Give us a little update. What's happening with basketball practices and so on? Are they underway? And do we know anything about any exhibition action yet?
Yeah, so when we first started off, it was just that one person per hoop, which was a bit tough trying to get some nice workouts in. But the coaches managed to do it, which is nice. But now we're up to like 4-on-4, even 5-on-5 sometimes. So definitely getting in the scrimmages. We're definitely getting game ready. If we do have to start in 2 weeks, we should be good. And from what I've heard, I think we've got a few exhibition games coming up. But awesome. I can't say for certain. I could be wrong, but that's just what I've heard.
And what is the team looking like? What is the talent level? Is it comparable to last year, or might it actually even be better?
It's very different. Even though we've got a lot of the same girls, it seems to be a different team. I think everyone's filling in different roles this time around. Yeah, I think it's going to be I'm really excited for this team, actually. Yeah, I think we've got good girls. We've got 2 new rookies, one who's coming down soon. And yeah, I think it's going to be great. Yeah, super exciting.
I can't wait. All right. Hey, Jasmine, thank you so much for joining us tonight. All the best to your family back home. They're probably watching this on YouTube after the interview. So thank you for lending us your daughter here in Canada. We appreciate you, and we're so thankful. And we hope that you and everybody back home stay safe.
Thank you.
As for you, Jasmine, I need you to suggest who we need to get in an upcoming Rattler vlog. Suggest anybody that hasn't done it so far.
I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to actually volunteer a volleyball girl who's actually my roommate. I'm going to volunteer Katie Sherwood. I think she'd be great on this.
All right. We're going to hit her up.
Perfect.
All right, Jasmine, thank you so much. Have a great night, and thanks for doing this. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. All right. Thank you.
All right. There she goes. Jasmine Gardiner, women's basketball on the Rattler vlog tonight. We've got one more episode coming up this week. We'll do that tomorrow. Keep an eye on the Rattler social media and find out who that guest is. So on behalf of Jasmine Gardiner, thanks for watching tonight. This has been another episode of the Rattler vlog. We'll see you soon.